Hey, what is up, everybody? This is your boy AJTRIP, and welcome to That's a Shoot, my hopefully now weekly episodic show that talks about what's going on in the world of professional wrestling. We got some couple stories to talk about today, so let's go ahead, let's get started. So yesterday, the WWE released several wrestlers, many of them from the NXT roster who hadn't made the TV, who were just people who hadn't yet to debut on TV or anything like that. But there were some people who were also on TV and who got cut. And let's go over them right now. We've got Mustafa Ali, Rick Boogs, Dolph Ziggler, Shelton Benjamin, Riddick Moss, Emma, Aaliyah, Elias, Top Dollar, Dana Brooke, Mace, Mansoor, Quincy Elliott, Shanky, Ulysses, should be Ulisa Leon. They got Ulisa Leon, Dabakato, Bryson Montana, Kevin Ventura Cortez, Daniel MacArthur, Alexis Gray, and Brooklyn Barrow. That's the last 7 are probably part of the 18 cuts from the. No. They've been. These people have been on TV. I'm not sure, but those are from NXT along with Quincy Elliott, which I don't even know what they were thinking. I don't know what they were thinking. Signing him. I don't know what they were thinking having him do that gimmick. It was ridiculous and it was stupid, and it did not go anywhere. So that was ridiculous, but he had get cut, and so names not surprising to be cut. Dolph Ziggler is a little surprising. You thought maybe they would have kept Dolph Ziggler. There's a lot of things going around saying that maybe Dolph Ziggler would have, maybe Dolph Ziggler is one of those people that you keep around as a, the trainer or producer, something like that, because that's what not Rick Rude, but Robert Roode is doing right now. After his neck surgery, he's been backstage producing. Maybe you do that to Dolph Ziggler. Same thing with Shelton Benjamin. Why wouldn't you want someone with the Shelton Benjamin with the accolades of him? He would go down to NXT and just he would probably be a worth of knowledge for those kids down there. But they decided that these guys go. Emma, Top Dollar, they were people who were brought back after all of the cuts during the pandemic. They were brought back from that, but just didn't. I guess it just didn't work out. Top Dollar, I think, he's more worried about making music anyway. It looks like than wrestling, and they just hadn't had the spot for it. I don't know what they're gonna do with Ashanti the Adonis and B-Fab. I think Top Dollar is a lot older than Ashanti and B-Fab. I think possibly so. And Hit Road just wasn't the same without Swerve. So yeah, and I think they tried to turn him heel and it didn't necessarily work. Yeah. So yeah, Mustafa Ali, he was getting ready to do his things down there, the stuff he wanted to do at one point on the main roster that he was getting ready to do in NXT. He had already did a promo on it, but they decided to release him. A couple of these people asked for their releases. Like Mustafa Ali asked for their release a long time ago. I think Ulysses Leon just asked for their release. It just asked for her release, so yeah, it's unfortunate. I think there's some people. Dana Brooke is kind of shocking because Dana Brooke has worked hard. I think they said she's been 10 years with the WWE, 10 years, and she's worked really hard and she really did improve. But once they ended the 24/7 stuff, it seems like they just really didn't have anything left to do with her. And since I've done NXT, it looked like that she was getting her foot down there, and getting ready to do some stuff down there. But once again, they just decided to let her go. So, I don't know. I don't know necessarily what's happened, but all these releases happened because of obviously the merger between WWE and UFC. And of course, when there's a merger, there's always going to be cuts that happen. That's just the way it is. You can't keep everybody. Whether it's in big business, in white collar business, and blue collar business, or in the wrestling business, cuts are going to happen, unfortunately. So it just is what it is. So we'll see if any of these people come around and they land on their feet somewhere else. And I don't know. I'm not sure if anybody else would. I think for somebody like Top Dollar, he may or he may not feel a certain way because he's been a lifelong WWE fan. So who knows if someone like Top Dollar wants to, if he wants to continue on somewhere else, or if he would want to wait and come back. Because listen, I think there's a possibility, that if they choose Dolph Ziggler, Shelton Benjamin, Elias, Top Dollar, and Dana Brooke, I think all of these folks could come back to WWE at some point, in the future. I don't think that these are things that, I think Mustafa Ali is probably done with WWE. He wanted his release, and now they released him again. So I think he just maybe done it over with the WWE thing. I don't know if they would want. I don't know if WWE would want to sign Rick Boogs again, unless he somehow turns around and becomes like this, superstar worker on the Indies. But I don't think so. I think Riddick Moss and Emma. Riddick Moss may have a chance to come back because he's got a great look, but he may want this. And Emma, this is actually her third time being fired from the company, actually, and the second time, her third time being fired from the company, and it may be a 3 strikes you're out. She was so, it looked like when she turned on Twitter, she was so excited to be going to Australia for the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view, but criminal event, but then she gets cut, as soon as she tweets it, so it's unfortunate. Aaliyah, who knows? She may just want to go and do something else. She may not want to be a wrestler anymore. Elias, I think Elias is someone who could absolutely come back and do something like that. Mason, Mansoor, who knows with those guys? I don't know, I don't know if they're necessarily that good in the ring. Again, you go, you're going to Indies, you get better, you make a name for yourself. Maybe you get asked to come back, but and then like all of the NXT folks, like I would doubt if we ever see Quincy Elliott. We better not see Quincy Elliott in the WWE ring again. That Kato, again, he got big size, he could always come back. And I don't know about these other 5 that are, I don't know, Bryson Montana, Kevin Ventura Cortez, Daniel MacArthur, Alexis Gray, and Brooklyn Barlow. I don't know, but yeah, so it was an unfortunate day, but a day that was coming, and it felt a whole lot different yesterday than it did before because there wasn't a pandemic. We knew there was a merger and things like this happened in a merger, and it just felt a lot different, especially after maybe 18 or so months without there being a release. 18 months without being a release from WWE. So it feels a lot different. So, but I wish all those great health and great stuff in their in their future. So, yeah. So, also breaking yesterday, with the cuts and the announcement of Elimination Chamber going to Australia, WWE announced that SmackDown will be moving from Fox to the USA Network in a new rights deal come October 2024. Let's go and read this from Variety. WWE SmackDown is officially set to return to USA Network in a new 5-year rights deal. The weekly show currently airs on Fox, but will move to its new network home in October 24 when the Fox deal expires. SmackDown originally began airing on Fox in 2019 as part of a 5-year deal between the network and WWE. It had previously aired on USA Network from 2016 to 2019 and had a number of network homes before that, including Sci-Fi, the CW, UPN, and My Network TV. Financial terms of the deal were not disclosed, but sources say the new deal is roughly worth $1.4 billion, up from the $1 billion Fox paid in 2019. As part of the new deal for SmackDown, WWE will produce 4 primetime specials per year for NBC, marking the first time WWE will air in primetime on the network. It is unknown at this time what form those primetime specials will take, if they will feature live wrestling or if it will be more documentary focused like WWE programming on A&E. According to an individual not to the deal, the exact nature of the specials are still being determined. NBC Universal has been a tremendous partner with WWE for decades, said WWE President Nick Khan. We are excited to extend this long-standing relationship by bringing SmackDown to USA Network on Friday nights and looking forward to debuting multiple WWE special events annually on NBC. The rights deal for both SmackDown and Monday Night Raw were due to expire next year. While SmackDown's future has been determined, there is no word yet on where Raw will land. It currently also airs on the USA Network, as does WWE's NXT. Sources say that there has been some serious interest from a number of top platforms, but no deal has been made at the time of this publishing. Neither of the two shows is expected to continue on the USA Network, according to sources. It's a privilege and thrill to continue NBCU's decade-long partnership with WWE, and which has helped cement USA's network's consistent position as the top-rated cable network. Jesus Christ, it just jumped all around. The top-rated cable entertainment network in live viewership, said Francis Berwick, chairman of NBC Universal Entertainment. With Friday nights on USA, primetime specials on NBC, and the WWE Hub on Peacock, we'll continue to use the power of our portfolio to super serve this passionate fan base. Since 2021, NBC Universal's Peacock has been the exclusive streaming home of the WWE Network. That includes the company's expansive library of wrestling shows, as well as home for annual events like WrestleMania, the Royal Rumble, SummerSlam, and more. WWE recently sold to Endeavor, which merged WWE with the UFC to form a new company dubbed the TKO Group. Vince McMahon, former CEO of WWE, has assumed the role of executive chairman of TKO Group. Under the terms of the deal, McMahon, who was WWE's controlling shareholder, will own 16.4% of the economic interest in TKO and 16.4% of the voting power of the new entity. McMahon stepped down as WWE's chief executive in 2022 and made an investigation by the company's board into alleged hush money payments to women who accused him of sexual misconduct. McMahon returned to the company in January 2023 as executive chairman to head up efforts to sell WWE. So there you have it. SmackDown has a new home where it belongs. The bad news is that now it seems like the Raw would not be on the USA Network, and that's a shame. NXT is one thing. I actually probably think NXT should probably go back to being on the network, should be being on Peacock. I think that's actually probably the best place for it. Because I think it's probably too much TV, too much wrestling on TV for WWE as it is. So if you count the 3 hours of Raw, the 2 hours of SmackDown, and then the 2 hours of NXT, that's 7 hours. It's probably not as good, at least of live wrestling. Now, if there was something where you had like the old school days where you had an hour of like Action Zone with recaps, things like that, maybe. or something like that. But I think NXT should go back to Peacock, and that's what WWE. I really wish they would stay on the USA Network. But we'll see. We'll see where it goes, and we'll see what happens. But yeah, SmackDown is moving back to Fox. Moving from Fox to USA Network, where it should be. I don't think it never should have even gone to Fox to begin with. That's just me and my personal opinion. But yeah, so now we have SmackDown back on USA where it belongs. Unfortunately, that means the end of Raw on USA, and that kind of sucks. Okay, so now our main topic for this episode is, if you think that Cody Rhodes should have won the title, you are wrong. And this has been going on. You listen to people on the internet and people on Twitter and people on YouTube, and they always bring up, well, Cody should have won the title and yada yada yada. But see, what they're not getting is where we are at in the story. The reason why Jey Uso fell in line to begin with was because Roman Reigns was the Universal Champion at that time. He was the Universal Champion, and he fell in line because he was the head of the table and he had the championship. When Jimmy Uso came back from his injury, he fell in line because, again, Roman Reigns was the champion. He was the head of the table. The reason why Solo falls in line is because Roman Reigns is the champion, and he is the head of the table. To have Roman Reigns try to do any of this without being the champion is wrong. It doesn't work. Roman Reigns has to be the champion to be the head of the table. That's just the way it goes. So when people are saying, well, he didn't, it bogged down Cody Rhodes and this and that, and it's made the bloodline stale. No, it hasn't. No, it hasn't. Now, arguably, yes, the bloodline story is not as hot as it was at earlier this year. It wasn't hot as the end of last year when the whole stuff with War Games happened. Then we went into January, December, and everything like that, and the Royal Rumble and the stuff like that, and the stuff with Kevin Owens, and then Sami Zayn's turning on Roman, and everything happening that way, and then Jey Uso doing his thing, and yes, it has been, it has not been as hot and as good as it has been in the past. But still, you needed Roman Reigns to be the champion for all of the stuff that has happened. You needed Roman Reigns to be the champion so that Jimmy Uso turns away from Roman to begin with, so that Jey turns away from Roman. Because if Roman Reigns doesn't have the championship, then why are they listening to him in the first place? Why are they listening? Why is Jey Uso taking his mess if he's not the champion and the head of the table anymore? He takes it because he is the champion, and being the champion means being the head of the table. That's the way it goes. With The Rock coming back and last week on SmackDown, and him is talking about how it was locked in for WrestleMania 39 in LA for Rock versus Roman. There's been a lot of talk about what should happen. What should happen at WrestleMania 40. And there's two things that need to happen at WrestleMania 40. One, it's either Cody versus Roman, that's it. Or two, Roman Reigns wrestles twice. He wrestles night one, he wrestles whoever you want him to wrestle. I think you go either way. If from night one he wrestles The Rock, right, and he beats The Rock, telling that he is the head of the table, then as he goes into night two, you've got Cody Rhodes there, and then Cody Rhodes beats the true head of the table and the WWE Undisputed Champion, and you got Cody Rhodes. You can do that. You can also do the other way. I don't think it's as good, but if you have Cody versus Roman go on night one, Cody wins the Universal Championship, and then you have The Rock and Roman on night two for like that head of the table thing. Then it doesn't feel as well because he's not the champion. He's not the champion. He's not the head of the table. And then you can also go in and say, well, now The Rock can win, right? Because he doesn't have to win the championship. He just has to become the head of the table. But I think if you do it, you're gonna do this. You're gonna have Rock put over Roman Reigns. So I would do it the other way. Have The Rock versus Roman night one, and then Cody versus Roman night two, if that was what was going to happen. But anyway, it's all about the championship, right? And right now, Solo is still with the Bloodline. Jimmy Uso is still trying to be in the Bloodline. Maybe Jimmy Uso is going to join Judgment Day, and I think that's the way they're going to go. I think what they're going to go is the Judgment Day is that they're going to do. I'm thinking they're headed towards War Games and Survivor Series, with the Judgment Day being Dom, Finn, Priest, and Jimmy versus Kevin, Sammy, Cody, and Jay. And then that's again where Jay proves himself to Kevin, and then you get the thing where how Jay hugged Sammy after Sammy proved his worth inside the War Games. Then once Jay proves himself inside War Games, then we're gonna get a hug from Jay to Kevin. It's cinema. It works. So I think that's the way we're gonna go. But now we get there is the way you gotta do it, and we don't get there without Roman Reigns being champion. Not alone the fact that Roman Reigns needed to get to 1,000 days. Roman Reigns needed to get to 1,000 days. And so we say, well, why did Roman need to get to 1,000 days? Why did he need to get to 1,000? What's so special about getting to 1,000 days? In this era of wrestling, where people get so iffy about everything, and they get tired of things so quickly. And trust me, there are some people who have been tired of Roman Reigns being champion since, was that been WrestleMania 37 when he faced Edge and Daniel Bryan? They've been sick of him since then. But that's just people who just go against the grain just to go against the grain, who boo John Cena just because it's fun, and boo and boo Roman Reigns just because it's fun. They don't have any legitimate reason as to why they don't like those guys. It's just because, hey, it's cool to do so. Most of those people are. But in this day and age where it is like that, I think the majority of the fans have not been tired of the Bloodline story. They're not have been tired of Roman Reigns being champion. Because for the most part, Roman Reigns has had killer matches, have had killer angles, and have had killer storylines. And he's been a magnificent champion. And, the guy on Wrestle Talk, Sat Eating Yankee, I've listened to him the last couple of weeks say, well, Roman Reigns isn't a champion, he's a title holder. And that's because he's not defended the championship since SummerSlam. And that's once since WrestleMania. he had the tag match against Kevin and Sammy at WrestleMania Backlash. I think he had the or was it at Crown Jewel or something like that? Over in a thing, which by the way was amazing because the fact that Sammy could go over there, so it was amazing. Then he had the tag match against the Usos at Money in the Bank in London. And of course he had the title match with Jay, and then he's been off TV ever since, and he's not coming back until very soon. The next time he'll be defending the title, or he'll be wrestling. At least will be at the November 4th Saudi show. So, so there's the talk about him, not being a championship title holder. And while on one hand I understand that, serious thing, I think, while the champion doesn't need to be on television every week, taking months and months off of not defending the championship does seem weird. I'm an old school guy. I like the fact that you should have to defend the title every 30 days. I would even say, even if you want to do something where you need to defend, you need to defend the title every 60 days, I'd be okay with that. But the title needs to be defended, somewhat frequently. But we're in a new era of wrestling and a new era of rest and everything like that. So it is what it is. But no matter the thing, Roman Reigns has not been on TV for a while. Last time he was on TV, Jey Uso quit SmackDown. So yeah, so understand that, but this is about bloodline and everything like that. And guess what happens? When Roman Reigns does come back, when Roman Reigns does become champion, does continue to be champion, it's going to be right back to being where they left off. Now, some people have not liked the fact, they didn't like the fact that Jimmy turned on Jay. And what was the reason for it? And they don't like the reasoning, the fact that he was worried about the title of being head of the table corrupting Jay like he corrupted Roman. I think that's a very smart. I think I like that. I also think that they could, that can't be the only thing. They need to go back and like retcon that a little bit and say that Jimmy was jealous. At some point Jimmy doesn't need to come out and say I was jealous that you get the title. I was jealous that you get the title match because I was jealous that you get 3 title matches, 2 last year and 1 this year. I ain't get no type of respect. I would like for that to come back at some point. Who knows? And maybe they're saving that for the build to their WrestleMania match, because I think that's where this is going. WrestleMania, this is also Jay and Jimmy. I would like to see Jay win the World Heavyweight Championship and have that be the match at WrestleMania, and then after the match, Priest can come down, cash in, and Priest becomes the World Heavyweight Champion that night. But I would love, that's what I would like to see. But never mind. So yeah, so all of this happens with Roman Reigns being the champion. And I'm telling you guys, if Roman Reigns is not the champion, there's no reason to do any of this. No reason to do any of this. No reason for Jay to turn on Roman. Well, they can just walk away. You're not the head of the table anymore. You're not the tribal chief. Just walk away. So don't score. Just walk away. And even Paul Heyman just walk away. If he's not the champion, they can just walk away. But with him being the champion, there's a reason why they needed to turn. Because he is still the head of the table. He's still the tribal chief. He still has that thing, that confidence about him that shows that he is the man. So, again, for all you guys saying that Cody Rhodes shouldn't have won the title and Cody Rhodes shouldn't have won the title, and Cody Rhodes, you know, this has hurt Cody Rhodes, I disagree with that. I think that you know what Cody's road is going, and I think now he has a great line, because I think really what happened is, you know, once Brock Lesnar acknowledged him, we knew where it was going to go. And now with the trade to Jay to Raw, we don't have to have Cody win the Royal Rumble for a second year in a row so that he can face Roman. He can be traded to SmackDown. He can win the Elimination Chamber match in Australia, and then go so he could face Roman, you know, at WrestleMania 40, and someone else could win the Royal Rumble. But again, like I said, perhaps Jimmy Uso, so that he could face Jey Uso, hopefully a World Heavyweight Champion Jey Uso. So there's a lot of things that can go on here, and I think all of it is fun. It's fantastic. I cannot wait. I think we're headed towards some great stuff. At some point in the near future, I'm going to talk about WWE and how this has been WWE's best year in the ring. I'm going to talk about that at some point. But yeah, this has been fantastic, and it's all because Roman Reigns is the champion. And it wouldn't be this good if Roman Reigns wasn't. And that's just point blank period in the discussion. Alright, y'all, that is it for this episode of That's a Shoot. Post your comments down below. Tell me what you guys think. Let me know what you guys thought about the releases yesterday. WWE SmackDown heading to Fox, and seemingly NXT and Raw moving away from the USA Network. And then, of course, the main topic, Cody Rhodes versus Roman Reigns, why it's wrong to think that Cody Rhodes should have won the title. Post your comments down below. Let me know what you guys think about any of those topics. Like the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel, and as always, if you guys have so much to watch, this is your boy AJTRIP signing off. As always, be good to each other, y'all. Be careful out there, and I am out.